Hello everybody, I'm Hacks for All, and I'm gonna be playing a little bit, just fooling around, a little gameplay of Yooka-Laylee, but not only the regular Yooka-Laylee like everyone has already done before, but I'm actually gonna be trying to play in a way that, well, you'll see. You can probably tell by the title and by the thumbnail that I have of what's gonna happen, so. I might delete this video later, I'm not sure, so I'm just gonna play, and whoever is here live, well, I will talk to you guys. Here we go. So as of April 1st, 2019, Playtonic released a update available on Steam for PC, for the Nintendo Switch, and probably on GOG as well, where we can actually modify the view of the game to look like more like an older or retro game. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. I'm not sure what people are going to think about it. Some people were favorable of it, other people not. So we're going to see. I already made a video on this when it came out earlier this morning, but still I want to keep you guys updated. I want to see what you all think. So I'm going to play and just go around the maps, and we're going to see pretty much if it's good or not. So the loading screen is there. Come on, come on. So I have the version for this one on Steam. So as soon as the update was available, I think I already had the settings so it would auto update. So I already updated. And then this morning I just woke up and I saw the update was there. I looked at Playtonic's Twitter. They had also announced it. And I haven't seen any videos on YouTube yet. They'll probably surface later today, since people like to edit and all of that. But I decided just to go ahead and stream it. So mine is not going to be, an edited video with script. It's all unscripted. I'm just going like that on a live and see, and give everyone my first impression, and you can also have your own first impression. So I have a video that I put out a couple of months ago, and it was a bit controversial because some people were thinking that I was actually criticizing Playtonic's way of doing the 64-bit, but I wasn't necessarily criticizing. So I'm glad to be here and explore it again, so maybe I can be more clear, and maybe people will see how it actually performs. So let's get started. So I'm playing with a controller. That helps me a lot. Helps quite a bit for the control. And if I remember correctly, which one's the one to take off? Nope. This one. So we'll enable 64-bit right here. So you see what happens there? There's like a little stutter that happens, but it could be my computer. Okay. So it looks nice. I like the CRT effect. We're actually gonna go back to the beginning of the level, and we're gonna see how everything looks. I might not do much of a commentary this time because it's more just like a preview, or more like they focused on the gameplay rather than my own comments. But I do think it looks pretty good. So the GUI, that is the menu, is not affected by this, so you can look at everything, the way it's supposed to look. But it's the game itself that has that effect on the back. So I do feel that it has like that charming look. Let me try to, if you give me just 1 second, I'm gonna try to, you know, raise a bit the quality so you can all see a little bit better. But I feel like, yeah, it has this charming look to it. It is nice. Hopefully it's all gonna be smooth. Yeah. And there is the fog effect in the back. So classic Nintendo 64 limitation, right? I'm gonna keep trying to raise the quality until my computer won't allow me anymore. So we're gonna see how far I can get. Since I'm pretty much just trying to show off how the 64-bit looks, I'm gonna go for like as high as quality as I can. I think the CRT effect adds a little something when it comes to streaming, since it's compressed, I guess, in a smaller screen. So the higher I can go with the quality, I think the better it is. Okay, I'm pretty much at like the maximum at which my computer can output a video. By the way, the frame of the game is currently locked at 20 FPS. So there is a some kind of a frame limiter. Maybe I would like the option to disable CRT effect. I don't think it's possible. Yeah, it's not possible. Because the reason why I would like to disable CRT effect is because since a lot of people actually have gotten used to either playing remakes or modern versions of older games, we're actually used to seeing, you know, newer games, or I mean older games in like newer ways. So we don't really see the CRT anymore. For example, when I play on emulators, if you check my Nintendo 64 videos, you're gonna see that they don't have a CRT effect, even though they're old games. So we're kind of getting used to looking at like crispy old games. Sorry. So same thing here. I think if we could disable the CRT effect, maybe playing it far away, like from a TV, would be good. But like playing it in a monitor, it would be cool if we could disable it. But I mean, this is what we get for now. It's still pretty good. So what's the mess? There's a lot of stuff. By the way, everyone, if you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. That helps me out immensely. So I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe while you're at it. So since I don't have a super powerful computer, running at 20 FPS is actually is in favor of my computer. So I guess I can't complain about the frame limiter. Hey. Not my eyes. You have one. Great Rampo did not foresee such aggressive salesmanship. I'm not trying to sell anything. Hey, Sam. Hello. So yeah, it looks pretty nice. Hey there, Rice 510. No problem so far. Actually, it's very good. It's very good. Like I was saying earlier, since the screen, you know, is we're used to playing with CRT. You know, usually on CRT, like the scan lines, we would play it like from a TV, right? So we would play it from a further standpoint, right? Like a further distance. In this case, since we're playing it like on a monitor, or let's say the Switch, we're gonna be closer, so we're gonna see the CRT effect. But the lines are so like very fine, so it's not really gonna affect. It just gives it like a little touch, you know, like Salt Bay, you know, just like a little touch that makes it feel more retro. But I feel that it looks very, very good. So no problem at all. Really, it's working fine. The water looks like an old game, you know. Remember when the water was just like blue? That's exactly what's going on. Oh, you don't have the update for PS4? Yeah, they're still working on like some bugs, and it should come out soon for PS4. So don't worry. At least we know it's true, right? Because it did come out for PC. I got it this morning, and it's already out for the Switch as well. So I mean, it's not a legend. It's gonna happen. So don't worry, Sam. It'll come out for PS4. I'm gonna disable the Tonic just so you guys have a little comparison here while we're all here. Let's disable it. So this is how the real Yooka-Laylee look. You see like a much more reflective surface. You see there's a lot of like reflection even on like the stones. Look at these stones. They have like some kind of reflection. If you look at it, there's like a glow. That kind of glow is like in newer games we have that. It's probably, you know, all new modern games have like high graphics, so it looks like that. You see how it looks? And Yooka-Laylee, they're like reflective. There's a bit like of blur. The frame, my computer is not that strong, so I can only run the game at 30 FPS. But when I enable the 20-bit Tonic, 64-bit Tonic, my frames limit to 20, so it's part of the Tonic. You see here, there's no reflection now, look. Even Yooka-Laylee, they look like a bit more flat. A bit more like Banjo-Kazooie. So that's good. You're watching on phone? Yeah, it's probably YouTube's compression as well. But I think also the size of the screen. You know when there's like a lot of lines and they're all squished together in a small screen? It's gonna have that effect where it's gonna look a bit weird. So maybe when you're gonna play it, it shouldn't be like that. It doesn't look bad on my computer. Oh, you want me to go to the final boss? I don't think in this save file I reached the end. I think I still need a couple more pages. I'm still gonna go so we can look at the lair at least. The next game for Playtonic, I don't know when it's going to be. I do not know. A lot of people are speculating, you know, they're saying that Playtonic is working on Yooka-Laylee Tui or Yooka-Tui, or I don't know how they're gonna call it, you know, but like the second part for Yooka-Laylee. It's very possible, you know. I doubt they're gonna leave it there with just one game. They're probably gonna make another game, but who knows if it's actually in the works right now or in their plans. They probably have to think about it, but I'm not sure if they're actually going to go with I don't know if they already started doing something new. Probably. I hope so. There's a lot of stuff that is good in Yooka-Laylee, but there's also other stuff that they could improve on. So I think that by having the main engine, you know, having like the characters, the lair, having all of that already created helps a lot. So maybe then they can focus a bit more on the actual game, you know, and the maps and stuff, more than developing the attacks and stuff like that. They could just basically build upon something that they already have. So I think that if they work on a new game, they should have that advantage. We're gonna do a small comparison in this area as well. So we're gonna look around here in the lair. You see the fire. Look at the water. This is one of like the things I did in my comparison video with Banjo-Kazooie for the Nintendo 64. Look at the water. It's very like shiny, very reflective. It has that kind of a bump map, you know, on top, so it looks like water. You see? Look at this. There's like the light reflecting here, fire. You see there's like glowing around this. And now we're gonna enable this. Now if you take a look at the water that we just looked at, look. You see? It's like just like a blue color. That one's still a bit similar, but it's still not as reflective or shiny. You see the lighting here? There's a lot of stuff here that's like similar, but it has that flatter feel, you know. Some people compare it to a PS1, so like PS1 titles from the PlayStation era. I mean, it all depends what you grew up with as well. So I think it kind of looks Nintendo 64-ish. I wouldn't say necessarily fully Nintendo 64, but it does have that vibe of like Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, stuff like that. The only thing, like I said, I would like to disable CRT if I'm playing like close, you know, like on a computer. But I think it still looks pretty good. They have been prototyping a bunch of possible games. They said that in their commentary video. Oh, really? Oh, Okay, I did watch their commentaries, but I don't remember that part. Oh, well, thanks for the information. Cool. Well, if that's the case, I hope they find something soon. Or I hope they also, you know, they take in consideration the fans. They could do polls and stuff, because a lot of the things that usually are well done is when developers actually listen to the fans, you know, the people. When everybody is like pitching in ideas, sometimes good ideas could emerge. So it would be cool if they do polls or stuff like that. A new Diddy Kong Racing, really? Oh, wow. Okay, with new... Okay, so yeah, they don't have the AP, Rare has it, and Nintendo has the... It's like divided between Nintendo and Rare, right? Because Rare made some characters and the other ones belong to Nintendo. I wish Playtonic could do that. By the way, if for those who are watching, I would really appreciate if you leave me a little like and a subscribe if you're interested in video games, you know, Yooka-Laylee, Banjo-Kazooie, Nintendo 64 games, Nintendo Wii games, all of those classic games, you know, even Super Nintendo games, because I mostly focus on that. I do hacking as well. Sometimes I take games, you know, and I cheat. Like, let's say I'm playing Yooka-Laylee, I would disable gravity and things like that. So I haven't done that yet on my streams, but I'm just giving you, you know, some ideas. So if you like this channel, I would really appreciate any support you could give me. Now, let's say we want to go to the second world. What happens if I press this? Okay, so we're gonna go up there. Or a remake of Donkey Kong 64. Oh, that'd be neat. Yeah, Donkey Kong 64 is an awesome game. Very awesome. By today's standards, you know, Donkey Kong 64 has a lot of collecting. Nowadays, people want games that are a bit more fast-paced, so they could probably change Donkey Kong a bit instead of having it, you know, too much of a collectathon, is it called? You know, they could have a way to keep the same game, you know, probably enhance some stuff and make it better, and reduce the number of collectibles and have it a bit more platforming and a bit more of actions and bosses, you know, instead of just walking. Because back in the day, we got to remember, back in the day of like Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, the internet didn't exist, and video games, you know, it wasn't easy to get all the video games like, you know, like we can do it digitally today, or just go to the store and just buy a lot of games on sale. Back then, you know, a lot of games would be like, would last years before a new one came out, you know. So someone could buy a game and play with it like for 3 years, and they could finish Donkey Kong 64 in like 3 years if they wanted to. But nowadays, if you play that long a game, people are gonna be like, dude, Donkey Kong, like the second part is already out, you know, what are you doing? So that's why people nowadays, they try to finish games pretty quick. There's a channel called Games Done Quick, not the channel, sorry, the event Games Done Quick for like speedrunners, you know. So finishing games is like, it's a new thing now. Everybody wants to finish games really fast. So collectathon is gonna stop that a bit. So if they make a new Donkey Kong, they should make the game, you know, a bit more easy to, not easy but shorter to finish, but they should also have it like make it harder, you know, so people have to still find a way to win the game. Okay. Oh, you're a game developer, really? Oh, that's really cool. Nice. Well, nice to meet you. It's nice meeting developers. You have a game coming out in August. Okay. Sure, you can show me how to hack your game. What kind of game is it? Are you developing it yourself, or are you using an engine? How's it? Or are you alone, or do you have a team? That's very interesting. I really like when people make games. It's very nice, you know. Even when Playtonic announced that they were gonna make this game, I was excited because, you know, when there's big companies like Activision and stuff like that, and they would just release games, sometimes it's pretty much the same game. They just changed a couple of stuff, you know. So it's good to see new games being created by original people, or original ideas. So nice. I don't know if this game is gonna be, if a new game is gonna be shown at E3, to be honest. It might be too early to tell. Because if you remember, Sam, if you remember when they announced Yooka-Laylee, they announced it a long time before the game actually was gonna come out. And the reason for that is because they didn't have anybody, right? They needed to have a Kickstarter, a backing campaign, you know, they needed to do some marketing over here, getting set up with like ideas, prototypes, and teasing people with stuff. So I don't think, if they're just starting now to make like a game, if they're still like in early stage, it's possible that they will not show it at E3, you know? So then probably next year they would show it. But if they have already started from before, I'm sure they're gonna show it now at E3, because remember at the beginning, even if they just had like the characters, they would show that, so at least we know something's on the works. For now, since they already have a game out, they could take it a bit more easy, you know. So, oh, you have. I'm sorry to hear that, Sam. You've made old school beat me up with some modern twists. The Misadventure of Melon. All right, I'll look for that. I'll look for that. Is that on your channel? Okay, that's pretty cool. I will look at it. I pretty much play like any type of game, you know. I prefer usually older games like Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong 64, Diddy Kong Racing. Those are pretty much my go-to games. But you know, I play a lot of different styles of games, so I mean, I'm gonna check it out for sure. Okay, it's on your channel, cool. Okay, so this is the second level. I'm just going by really quick so we have like a look while you guys are updating or anything. But we can see how things are looking. And I will find Vendy so I can disable the 64-bit and we can have a little comparison. This level is extremely reflective because of the ice. So, since we have the 64-bit Tonic, it doesn't look as reflective, which kind of reminds me of Freeze Easy Peak from Banjo-Kazooie. And the music reminds me of Donkey Kong 64, so it's working well. That means Playtonic, Grant Kirkhope, David Hope, Wise, well, David Hope, David Wise, it's all going on, you know, it all matches with, it's all in line with a spiritual successor. Okay, the trailer doesn't come out until June. Okay, alright, I'll check those videos. Alright, so we disabled the 64-bit Tonic here. Let's take a little look. So you see all that reflective surfaces, you see the ice, all of that. For the game itself, you know, if someone's gonna play Yooka-Laylee and you see this, it's actually pretty nice. In no way the reflectiveness is a bad thing, or a little bit of bloominess. I'm glad they didn't go overboard with the bloom like in Oblivion, if you guys know what I'm talking about. That one has too much bloom, and it's probably not the only one. There's other games that have a lot of bloom, but I'm glad they didn't overdo it here. There's a little bit of bloom, but it's just fine. But the 64-bit Tonic actually makes it look flat, which is a good thing for going retro. So let's just come over here and have a look, and then we're going to compare it to the 64-bit Tonic. So there's a lot of ice. You see here the wooden plank here, the bridge, very reflective surface. There's like snow falling. Look at those Chinese vases. Now let's try again. Alright, thank you very much. Thanks for the sub. I'll check out your channel. I'll probably be commenting, so you'll see me around. Alright, so we see here that the reflectiveness is actually gone. Hey. Go away. Oh man. These eyes are crazy. Okay, there. So we actually see how the reflectiveness is gone, but the lighting necessarily isn't gone. It's more like the reflective surfaces. So you see here the bridge, very different. Look. There's still snow falling, but it doesn't, it's just working very well. Very well. Look at this. I think it's very well done, to be honest. it's working much more better than I was expecting it to. At first I thought it was going to be a simple thing, you know, a couple of CRT lines and just simplifying the shader, but I mean, I feel it gives it a bit more, like, it looks flat, but in a good way. In a good way. Like, all the colors, they're very discernible. And I think that, like I said in my other video that I did this morning, when the first look at the 64-bit Tonic, I think one of the down things about the 64-bit Tonic was actually the trailer itself, because I feel that showing grass, you know, in a retro way is not gonna work on your favor, because it would just look very flat and it didn't really have much texture to it. So it wasn't too easy, you know, to make it look good. But if they would have shown a bit more, you know, I know it was a teaser trailer, but still they should have shown probably different parts. Like here, you see here, there's like a lot of textures. This kind of textures is the one that looks good with this type of filter. So, like I said, I don't think the 64-bit Tonic is bad. I actually feel that the developers did a very good job. It's just that the trailer itself, the one, not the one they published today, but the one they published a couple of months ago, was too fast, and it wasn't probably the best clips to show off. Because by looking at, if you see this, I'm gonna try not to move too much so YouTube doesn't compress my video too much. But if you look at this, you know, it looks pretty good. So I'm trying not to move too much, you know, so I don't blur the image because of YouTube compression. But you see how it looks? Like the trees, the fire, I think everything looks good. I like the saturation, really. Like how the colors, they blend together very well. Like all the, look at Yooka, for example, and Laylee. All their colors are like in their respective places, but they're like well pronounced. So that's a very, very Nintendo 64 thing, you know. Oh, okay. We're gonna go to the isometric castle. Isometric, did I pronounce this correctly? Yeah, we're gonna go to the isometric castle and we're gonna see how the effect looks in there. I know it has another kind of perspective in here. The camera is different. Okay, so here we really notice a lot of differences in this, because usually this place is very reflective, like I said. Let's disable the 64-bit Tonic so we can have a little side-by-side comparison. So you see I mean, don't get me wrong, the original look of the game looks very good, you know, the reflective surfaces, ambient occlusion, you know, the lights, how they bounce off here, you know, everything looks good. But the effect that is given by the 64-bit Tonic is very nice. We're going retro every time. You see here? So basically this part was all dark, remember? Now it's pretty much, you know, uniform. Because there's no need for bouncing that much light. And they just pretty much light the whole map. Okay, we're gonna go somewhere else just to look. Yeah, I think it looks very good. We're gonna move on to another level just so we keep things rolling here. This map is very huge, very big. There's a lot to see, but it's pretty much, I'm just trying to do like a little preview for those that are getting either the updates, or maybe you have like a PlayStation 4 so you can't get the update yet, or an Xbox One, so maybe you want to see some gameplay to have an idea if it's worth waiting for, stuff like that. So I'm doing that for all of you guys and girls, everyone, everybody. Okay, we're gonna go and leave this place. I know there's a lot more areas in this level. I just didn't go because, like I said, I want to keep it rolling. But honestly, so far it's looking really good. And for those that might have just joined now, as you might notice, you see the loading screen, for example, it doesn't have the CRT effect, or it doesn't have a frame limiting. I have actually 60 frames while the screen loads. Sometimes it goes even higher to like 200. So the effect, the 64-bit tonic effect, is actually only applied to the game rendering itself. That means only the game is gonna look retro, not the whole menu, not the letters and all of that. But that's actually a good thing, because like I said earlier, if the letters were start, you know, looking a bit more like low resolution and all, it would be harder to read. So for example, you see here the title of this place. And the letters stay sharp and crisp, so that's a good thing. Okay, we're gonna go to the other place. Where's the third level? Second world is there. First world is over there. I always get kind of lost here. Okay, I think it's over here. Is it? Okay, so we're gonna loot another area of the towers, you know. But yeah, like I said, in general, I think it's very nice, and I like it how they didn't mix the letters, because they could have put just an overlay on top of the whole game, but then the letters would have looked like a bit funky, you know, not clear. So I'm glad they made this decision. Okay. All right. By the way, thank you for the likes. They help me a lot. Like I said, if you really want to help me, I don't ask for much. Just give me a like, subscribe if you want. That's pretty much it. So, okay. So where are the Ivory Towers? We're gonna go to the third level. This is like a smaller size of the same statue that we have in the entrance. Okay, I think I'm pretty sure it's this way. We're gonna go to the casino now. Capital Casino. Capital Casino. Which is one of my favorite places. I do feel like sometimes it feels a bit lonely in there, but aesthetically speaking, I like it. There's a lot of colors, there's a lot of lights. So that's what I like about this place. I think I skipped one place. I skipped the... How do you call it? That swampy place. Oh, what's the name? Yeah, I skipped the third level. I'll go back after this one. That was at the library, actually. I had to go back and go in the door. Yeah, so the loading can take a little while, but I mean... That's what happens when games are not in cartridge form anymore. Alright, 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 alright. Come on, come on. And we're back in game. Capital Casino, here we are. Once more, we're gonna find the vending machine and we're gonna disable. Whoa. We're gonna disable our 64-bit Tonic. So we can have a little refresher of how this place actually looks like. Okay, so immediately we see the light around her. We see how the lights, you know, in this thing, like the wall strip here, the light, how it glows. We see, whoa, did I just see something weird? Oh. Okay. Oh, you have a tell. Oh, your power cord. Okay, so you see the reflectiveness here on the gold, because everything's made out of gold, obviously, since we're in a casino. There's like lots of reflections on the floor. Hey. There's lots of, like, you see the lights here, the stars, the flashing lights up there, the cards, everything's looking like very reflective. So this game is pretty much, you know, like a polished game. Everything looks a bit waxed and clean, which is not a bad thing, like I said, but that's like a characteristic of this game, right? Oh man. How do I get rid of these guys? I forgot. Hey. Is that how I do it? Huh. I guess I don't remember. Hey, stop. Okay, so we saw how reflective it is. We're gonna come right here and select this. You see the lighting around her? It changed. So now it's a bit more flat. It's a bit more even, you know. And you see here the wall strip. It doesn't shine as much. It's probably not even lit anymore. It's just like the texture probably, which is not a bad thing. Once again, you know, I'm not trying to say like this is like a bad thing. I'm just saying this is how it's working in this case. We're gonna look at the gold here. Whoa. Well, you see the gold? It actually looks like beige now. So it actually changed. The pillars. Let's look at the cameras. I mean, the stars. The lights up there are even off, actually. Did you notice this? Look, the lights are off. The ones here. They were actually on. They're now off. So what I think this does, to be honest, is that, okay, first it limits the frames, okay? So maximum is 20 frames per second, 20 FPS. Second of all, it also limits the, I guess, the depth of like shadows or lighting, or even completely disables lighting in a certain way. Or like shaders, like this doesn't have any lights, you see? And it's just replaced by the texture that's under it. And some other textures, they're already pre-rendered, I think, with the light inside. So it's like baked lighting, which is not a bad thing. That's how they used to do it on the Nintendo. They would like pre-render some stuff. I like how this picture made it into the game. Okay. Whoa. Yeah, so you see all the lights are off. The bulbs, they're off. Even here, I think it should be different. So this is the most noticeable change in that we've seen so far. The lights get turned off, actually. We're gonna go see up there the chandelier. Okay, there's actually light coming here. So I think they took the time to put real light there. We're gonna go at a sub area just to see how things look inside. But first we're gonna talk to this friendly person. Hey, friend. 9 more tokens. They look very familiar. Okay, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna see. There's nothing more. So we already cleared this place. I'm not sure if there's another sub area around here. There's Rextro over there. I guess we could look at how minigames look. Let's try. Maybe they have the effect. I'm not sure. Let's try. I'm not really a fan of this specific minigame, but I mean... Okay. Oh no, okay, so the effect gets disabled, I think. We're gonna try, but for what I see, I think the effect got disabled. So there's probably like a rule or a setting that says if you're gonna play a minigame, disable it, and as soon as the minigame is over, re-enable it or something. Or probably just, if don't consider the 64-bit tonic or any tonic at all while you're playing this. Yeah, so this is like clean. Crap. I tried playing with the D-pad. Bad idea. Don't play with the D-pad. Do not play with the D-pad ever. Crap. Anyway, you get the idea. Ugh. Not the best. So I feel the screen's gonna catch me. Okay, yeah. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this one, but I'm really trying not to die. How can I run faster? Is there a way to run faster? 'Cause I'm staying behind. The screen's literally swallowing me up. I can't, yeah. I couldn't get out of there. Anyway, so that was pretty much proving that looking at... Can I leave? Okay, so the 64-bit tonic does not apply to Rextro's game. It's fine, Rextro, we're not trying to beat your score. No, we don't want to play again. Okay, so we can see that all the lights are off actually. So that's a side effect of the 64-bit tonic. Everything gets turned off. But that's how it gives it that look in the first place. We're gonna go somewhere else. I did a video last time on like a couple of months ago when I talked, when I was talking about the differences between Banjo-Kazooie and the differences, between Banjo-Kazooie and between Yooka-Laylee. I was trying to say that it's not necessarily the effect that makes it look different or bad in a way, but I was actually more concerned about how the textures would look. Because from what I read, one of the developers explained how the way they achieved of getting the 64-bit Tonic, you know, look. And the way they did that was by doing something with the weight of the textures. So the way the textures would be loaded. So it always gonna load like the least quality first or something like that, which works pretty well. You see, like it looks very like low quality, but that's exactly what they wanted to do. You know, we know this game can go up to like high quality. But now the thing is, my concern wasn't necessarily with that, because I agree that low quality images is like it matches more like Nintendo 64. But the thing I was trying to say or explain was that when it comes to the actual details on the texture, you know, it's not necessarily what the texture shows, but what it is. So usually textures have things on them, like you see here the ground. As simple as this texture looks, you see there's like little stones on it. You see there's like lines. You see the grass, there's like little things on it. Or Banjo used to do that, right? But now if you look for it's just an example, okay? But you look at this pipe, for example, it's very much, you know, it's bland, you know. So the thing with that, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I was just comparing it to Banjo and saying in the sense not of the quality or the resolution of the image. Obviously Yooka-Laylee is gonna have a good resolution, but I was more talking about the actual details inside, like the fine-grained details inside the textures. That's what really made a difference for me. Maybe for other people it doesn't make a difference, but for me it kind of did. But now that I'm seeing, you know, the whole game, I don't think I mind necessarily that some textures don't have that kind of detail in them. You know, they're a bit more just like a flat color with a little bit of details on it. So I don't really mind that much, because after I look at the whole game overall, like what I've seen, it looks pretty good. So I think, like I said, the trailer, the choices they made with the clips in the trailer probably weren't the best, but they were still pretty good. They still give a good idea. So yeah, I think people might have been a bit too harsh on it. You know, they just drop dislikes because they want to. Okay. Okay, so now this is the place where I can go to the third level, which I accidentally skipped. No. But why am I even doing this when I can fly? Gotta think outside the box. Outside the toy box. Okay, we're gonna go in this level. And this is one of the levels that I'm actually expecting for it to look a bit lighter. I might be wrong. I'm expecting it to look a bit lighter because since we saw light kind of gets disabled or toned down a bit. And if that's the case, then this place is already kind of dark. So we needed that light. So if, you know, they probably compensated by adding or pre-baking lighting in the actual textures. I don't know. So we're going to see. I think it should look a bit more uniform and a bit brighter. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Come on, Yooka. Come on, Laylee. Alright, so here we are. And I think... Wow, this place looks really different. Okay. This place looks very different. Okay, we gotta find Vendy so we can reset our eyes. And we can compare it in a fair way. Where's Vendy? I know where Chowser is. Vendy, where's Vendy? Does anyone remember where Vendy is? Yeah, Chowser's here. So where's Vendy? Oh, there she is. And I forget I can fly. I always forget this skill. Okay. So this place, it's much more darker and creepy without the 64-bit Tonic. So there we go. Yeah, see? So it's actually pretty well lit. It's not as dark as I thought. But you see the glowing mushrooms? What else do we have? We have glowing mushrooms. We have these little lamps here. Let's enable it. See that there is like a little difference in not necessarily the colors, but the lighting affects the colors, but not in a bad way. We see here the mushrooms are not glowing anymore, right? I try not to move a lot so you guys don't get that YouTube compression, so it's clear for everyone. So I'm pretty much like sending screenshots by not moving. So you see the glow is gone. If we look at the lamps are not glowing anymore. Like they have some light coming out of them, but it's not the light itself. Like there is some light there, but it's not necessarily like the light that's glowing. So very interesting. Also this, the swamp water or the mud looks different as well. We're gonna do it again. Oh, and the fire in the back. Let's try again. Boom. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. There's grass here that actually disappears. Huh. Yeah, and you see how this looks? Look how this looks. For example, take a good look at it. Look at the light, the glowing mushroom in the back, like the green one. The light that's coming out of like that center mushroom. You see the contrast, how it is, you know? You see the water, how it's kind of moving. Now we're gonna go here, and you see there's grass here. Now we're gonna enable the 64-bit Tonic, and we're gonna compare really quick. You see the grass is actually gone here. Hey there, L series. What do you mean super late? Okay, and if we look here, you see the mushroom is not even glowing anymore in the back. The water is not moving, you know, that swamp mud water, it's not even moving. The mushroom and the center, you know, not glowing either. You know, all of those things that we mentioned about lighting, they seem to be pretty much part of the filter. So the Tonic is always going to disable lighting, and all the rest of the lighting that we see, it's like purposely either put in, or they're just replacing all of the lights with some other type of lights. So we're gonna explore a bit more. Oh, I actually missed the page here. Huh. Okay. I don't remember missing this one. I probably never got it. Anyway. Oh, okay, the water looks... It doesn't look like a pale blue, it's actually like a dark blue now. So there are some changes. So one of the things that happens, by the way, is obviously if you take the 64-bit tonic, you won't be able to have any other power up, because the 64-bit tonic actually gives it's like a power up, right? So it takes that slot. So you can't have like extra health and the 64-bit tonic. You either have the looks or the ability. You can't have both. Obviously you can if you hack. I'm not gonna deny that, but normally you shouldn't be able to have multiple tonics enabled at once. Yeah, so that was a look at this map, which I find that looks pretty good this way. The swamp doesn't even look that deadly if you look at it, because the texture changed. Okay, at least I got this one. Oh, come on, Yooka. Oh no. Okay. You know what we could test? I wasn't planning on doing this, but I can actually try to do something real quick. If it doesn't work, I'll end up the stream there. But I'm gonna try something. So we're gonna disable the tonic, and I'm gonna open up a little app that I have on my computer. If my computer is cooperative with me, we could actually find something very interesting. So we're gonna have this enabled, and yeah, we're gonna say it like this. All right, here we go. What? Oh, really? Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Because I wanted to try to actually get the game to, to enable multiple tonics. Or even, I wanted to try to mess with the way the 64-bit tonic works. Because if I manage to do that, I can actually disable the CRT probably, or the frame limiting. So that would have been pretty cool. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm sure I can. I just have to be persistent. So I'm not... heck, I'm going to show you guys how I'm doing it, because you guys have been very nice. Okay, so we have a window here. I can check the stuff that's happening in the game. Or not necessarily happening, but the stuff that is, available in the game. So, we're gonna actually scroll down here and look for, I'm gonna make this bigger for you all. We're gonna look for this one, assembly C#. So this is pretty much what keeps everything for the game, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've done this. We're gonna try to look for 64-bit or tonic or retro, something like that. Let's look for bit. No, not here. Let's look for retro. Let's try to look for retro. Retro. Because it has to have a name, the way they programmed it. So element P, Q, R. Retro. Is there retro? Reset fog settings. Render test. Interesting. Methods. No. Remove. No. QRS. Restart minecart event. Nope. Nope. Let's look for 64. SIX. 64. Nope. Okay, I'm trying to look for a way. text, test, tonic requirement. Okay, tonic manager. These are pretty tonic. Okay, all of these say tonic. We're gonna look for also visual effects, animation trigger. Okay. There's a lot of stuff. We're gonna do search. We're actually gonna search. We're gonna do find. We're gonna write just the number 64 if there is an actual one called 64. There isn't really, I don't think you can name stuff 64. No, there are some stuff called 64, but it's not the kind of stuff we're looking for. We'll look for retro, maybe retro. Or CRT, you know, those kind of keywords. Because if we actually find where it happens in the game, we could probably disable that method. Basically a method, what it is, it's just what tells, it tells the game what to do, right? So by disabling that method, I can actually, let's say I find the method that enables CRT. So whenever you enable the actual 64-bit tonic, it does a couple of things. First, it probably changes the order of the textures, right? So that's why it looks like a little bit more lower quality. Second of all, it changes the lighting. Third of all, it probably limits the frame rate. And fourth, it puts on a CRT, right? The CRT effect on the screen. So it's like 4 stuff that it does when you take that 64-bit tonic. So if I can individually choose which one I want to enable or disable, it's very possible that I could actually enable the 64-bit tonic without, let's say, enabling the frame limiter. Or I could enable the 64-bit tonic without necessarily enabling the CRT limiter, or both, you know? So yeah, or I could disable everything, so when I take this 64-bit tonic, nothing happens, which would be pretty useless. But while that loads, we're just gonna play around the game, because it's just loading at the moment. Okay. Okay, oh, okay. This is a perfect place to look actually at the textures. So you see there's textures here. They even look like 3D. You see that? There's like some branches, like some roots actually shine more than others. Well, it shouldn't happen here with the tonic. We're gonna look at that. Okay, so that texture is not even there anymore. They legit completely remove that texture. Why? Because it's very possible that this like platform right here is covered in this texture, and then on top of that texture, like a layer, they added another texture, right? So there's an order. So what happened is when we enable the 64-bit tonic, it actually takes the one from the bottom and it pushes it all the way up. So the other texture is probably still there, or maybe not, but if it's still there, it's just at the bottom, it's under. Same thing here. Same thing here. The glowing, well, like I said, there is some light still applied. Crap, no. Oh crap. This is not good. What the hell? I think there was a little platform that I could use to save myself. Okay. Yeah, so there's still some light on these mushrooms, but it's not the same type of glowing light. And it's still searching for the word retro. Maybe it was a bit too broad, or there's too much stuff. A lot of people find Wendy very creepy because she's like a vending machine with feet, and like I think she has legs, I'm not sure, or I think it's just her feet that are there. Some people find it creepy. I think she's okay. She looks like a nice vending machine, and she has her stuff there, the power cable. Okay, it's still loading for some reason. Oh, someone's there. Hey there, Fatality. Oh yeah, I know. Someone also was telling me they were waiting for the PS4 version. And yeah, for some reason they said they're still patching out like some bugs and stuff, so probably it's gonna take a bit longer for consoles. I hope it doesn't take longer than a week, to be honest, because a lot of people were expecting this, and they were supposed to all come out at the same time. And you're right, the Xbox version came out before the Switch, but now PC and Switch already have it, and it's actually PS4 and Xbox One that are waiting, so kind of sucks in that aspect. I hope you get it soon. Okay, we're gonna disable it and we're gonna compare. Yeah, I know the Switch is a console, of course, but I'm saying like it came out first on PC and Switch. Okay, so this is like just so we can compare a bit how the lighting works. Crap, I keep falling through these places. Okay. Yeah, so we see like the glowing mushrooms, like I told you guys. You see here, this texture's here as well. Even the fire changes, because the way light gets rendered is not the same. That's why we see fire looks like a bit more transparent. Oh really? Oh nice. Can't wait to see that. What are you modeling? Levels? That's pretty cool. Yooka-Laylee is nice, but it's never gonna beat Banjo-Kazooie, to be honest. Banjo's like, it's on another level. But it's nice to have a game that's like similar. Oh, levels, nice. Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, I hope I get to see them soon at least. Or whenever you have a chance to show a little spoiler. That would be pretty cool. I was working on some levels as well, but I was using SketchUp, Google SketchUp, and I was kind of limited with my options, because I tried making some kind of curves, you know, but SketchUp isn't really the best for curves. It mostly does just straight lines. And if I wanted to do curves, I had to do it myself or use circles, but then when I would triangulate, it would like mess up the map. It would like flip, and Banjo could go through it, so I kind of stopped. I had some forest levels, so that's why I kind of stopped doing it. You use Blender? Oh, that's very good. Yeah, I should learn how to use Blender as well, because I've been looking at different like people working on mods, and especially even Banjo. For Banjo, they use Blender a lot, and it seems to be very like flexible, and it works very well. So it's very good that you're actually using Blender. That's nice, actually. It's very flexible, so if you can imagine it, you probably can build it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, nice. Do you have like any idea of like the themes you're going for? Like the types of level? Is it gonna like forest, or you know, a level like this, like swamp, or temple, stuff like that? Man, I need help. Okay, I'm actually gonna go to the other level so we can have a look at that one. We spent a good time here, and I think we did see a lot of the differences. And this, honestly, for me, this one is the level that looks the most different to me compared to the original look of this level. This one is like the most different one for me. Where's the entrance? Okay. Oh crap. I was not close enough. Boom. Oh, okay. I see. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Okay. Yeah, starting by the hub is a good idea. In a farm level, okay. Oh, okay, you actually went on stream. Okay, that's nice. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah. I'll check it. I'll stop by and leave maybe a comment there if your video's there. Oh, it's nice. Nice. Okay, farm level. You did a windmill. Okay. Oh, it's nice. At least you're already getting started with the hub. Usually the hub I think is like the hardest because I remember when I was sketching out some ideas on paper. I had like 2 levels, you know, planned out. One was like a forest and the other one was like a temple. But I couldn't necessarily figure out a way to like connect them, you know, using a good hub, you know, because I didn't have an idea for a hub. So that was a bit of a limitation for me. So it's good that you're actually working on that and a level. Nice. And I'm guessing you're aware that you gotta make backups of your work, right? Because it's like the most horrifying thing when you like look for the level and it's gone or it's corrupted. So I mean, I'm just saying it, but I'm pretty sure you know that making backups is a good idea. Okay, I'm gonna try to go to the last one. Oh, let's look at the library since we're here. Okay. Oh, okay, I gotcha, yeah. Like Super Zambezi. At the beginning he was also like that when he was starting with Blender. I remember like a lot of people would be like press G, no, Control G, Control GY or stuff like that. So now he pretty much does it on his own, but like it did help him and he's like much better now. I should have started back then, but I guess it's not too late for me. But yeah, I'm gonna watch if you're on. I'll check you out. Because I usually, you know, just go around usually and watch like Banjo videos, even if it's like an old advert for Banjo from like 1998 or something. So if you're streaming, I'll definitely stop by, for sure. I do know some stuff on Blender though. It's not necessarily like the controls, but it's more like trying to do, you know, specific shapes. I know how like extruding, I know resizing rectangles, modifying the model, you know, selecting the faces, vertices, all of that. Like I know how to do it. I've watched some tutorials with like Blender Guru, but it's like some stuff, you know, if I can help you out, maybe like a shortcut or something, and I'm there, I'm gonna tell you. But if it's like more complicated stuff, maybe we can Google together. But yeah, of course, I like watching people learn because I learn as well. I've actually learned some stuff by watching other people doing it. So it's nice also. It doesn't feel, you know, boring like a task, like you're just doing that, because you're actually talking to people. So it's nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the last level. I don't think I've expanded the last level, so I don't even know if I've been to the last level on this save file. So we're gonna go there and we're gonna see how it looks. So this is the last one for all of them, and obviously I can't do the boss because I don't have enough pages. Okay, we're gonna go to the last level. Yeah, so the book's closed, so I've never been here. I'll see if I can expand it right now. You can choose expand 50 pages. Okay, I'm gonna expand it right now. Open books. Okay. Oh crap, I'm still playing on the be right back screen. Yeah, I'm sorry. I completely forgot I was on. Usually when it's, because the loading, you know, it takes a while, so I put the scrolling screen so it looks a bit more fun, and I completely forgot about my streaming. Yeah. Okay, so I expanded the book. We're gonna see how this looks. So it already looks pretty retro, by the way. It looks pretty retro like this. We're gonna see how it goes. I'll put it back to scrolling this time, but I won't forget to put it back. Alright, so we're gonna see how the last space level looks. So far, honestly, I've really appreciated the way the 64-bit Tonic turned out. I had, like I said, I had a video posted earlier, like a couple of months ago, and I don't know if I came off like I was having a bit of like too much criticism, or I was like having a little rant, but I didn't mean it to make it look that way. I was just comparing it. But that's not necessarily what I meant. I was just comparing stuff with Banjo. By itself, the 64-bit Tonic is not a bad like idea or a bad product or a bad add-on to the game, especially since it's free, you know. So I think it's pretty good. And like I said, I think that in the trailer, it was actually just not well shown. Yeah, so it's pretty much, like I said, just the way they promoted the video, it probably wasn't the best takes of the B-roll, you know. Okay, here we go. Really, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. To be honest, I had this save file like here for a while, and because I already did the game once, but without the Tonic, so... No, not you, no, I was talking about myself. Like, I criticized I mean, I made a video comparing, but then it sounded like I criticized, so a lot of people thought I was like kind of criticizing the 64-bit Tonic. So, not you, no, I meant myself, like my other video. But yeah, so I also been anticipating this Tonic, and like I said, this is like an old save file that I've had, and I haven't been on it for a while. I've actually been streaming other games, but I also can't wait to like replay the game with like start from scratch with the 64-bit Tonic on, because apparently if you enable it on one save file and then you go to the other save file, I think it still works. Like it goes across all your save files. So if that's the case, then that would be really cool. Yeah, constructive criticism is a good thing. Yeah. And the reason why I compared it with Banjo wasn't necessarily, you know, to see if it was just good or bad, you know, because people nowadays, they just want to say, oh, that's good and that's bad, you know, like it's white and black or black and white. But, you know, some things can be like, they could be good and have one element that's not good, you know. So I wasn't necessarily trying to establish like, okay, no, 64-bit Tonic is good or bad. I was just comparing like some stuff, and the reason why I compared it with Banjo-Kazooie was mostly because this is like a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. So it wasn't necessarily about seeing if it was good, just making sure that they were on the right path, they were doing the right thing. And I feel like they ended up, you know, with a pretty good result. Obviously they couldn't redo everything because they would have to rebuild the whole game. But just by the way things look now, I think it's a good result. It was pretty much just, like I said, teleportation. It was pretty much the trailer that didn't have like the best footage. So it looked like a bit like just colors here and there, a bit bland, and then the trailer was over. So if they would have shown other stuff, it would have been cool. Okay, I just put anything else so we can compare it real quick. I've been doing this on all my all the levels. So this one is like, I don't know why, but this level really gives me like an 80s vibe. Maybe because of like that neon lights, but I really get like that 80s, early 90s vibe. So when we enable the Tonic, it's gonna look different. Yeah, I would have loved, to be honest, that the models, at least for Yooka and Laylee, you know, not everything, but at least these guys, to be a little bit more low poly. You've probably seen it, Fatality. You've probably I'm sure you've seen it around on YouTube. There's like a song, or there's like many songs from Yooka-Laylee that were actually made with like Banjo sound fonts, and you know, it was made like with Banjo sound fonts, and then there's like a picture of like the intro for Banjo-Kazooie, and then there's Yooka and Laylee with a Yooka-Laylee, and they look like and like in lower definition. It looks very good. I would have loved that. Yeah, yeah. If it's just Yooka and Laylee that have like lower models, that would have been more than enough, because that's pretty much the characters we see the whole time, you know, when we're like running around. It doesn't matter if Vandy has a little bit more of like curves or trouser. It would have been possible, but I guess it would have taken a bit more time. But I'm sure it would have been possible. Like, if you take the time to look at Banjo and Kazooie, like in a, you know, in a 3D perspective, not as characters, but just like models, they have very low polygons, you know. Like Banjo's backpack is like pretty much like a prism, you know. It's just like a rectangle and then like a container basically. And even Banjo's nose, if you look at everything, but it's like the imagination does the rest, you know. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, in Tui they got much better though. I agree. Even the shadow in Tui is much better. Okay. Yeah, even the shadows in Tui and the models, even Banjo got better in Banjo-Tooie. I have to agree. Especially if you look at Dragon Kazooie, there's more polygons there as well. Find another way in. Oh yeah, for real. Yeah, it could be a GameCube game, really. I find Tui really pushed it, you know, the Nintendo 64 to the max. You know, big level designs, music, colors. There was even a lot more of animations and cutscenes. A lot more. You even like changing maps, you know, when you would like trigger something, it would load to the other map and show what you did, stuff like that. So it really felt like the game was much more like active. So it is true, Banjo-Tooie is more advanced obviously than Banjo-Kazooie. And even the models from that would have been pretty good. Because the only thing, you know, if you look, the difficulty with Yooka is that Yooka's nose is a bit, well, it's actually pretty curved. So in doing that and like lesser polygons, it's obviously gonna mean like a more steep nose, you know. Probably it's gonna have like a limit there on the edge, like a little ridge. Okay. So wait, I just want to compare. Let's have a quick look here. I'll try not to move too much so we have a good look without YouTube algorithm. The YouTube compression algorithm squashing everything down. So we see how things look. One of the things I noticed was that in the Capital Casino, when we enable the 64-bit Tonic, like the lights you see there, like those arrows, in Capital Casino actually got disabled. So I'm 90% sure it's gonna happen here. 90% sure. Okay, now we're gonna try it and enable it. Okay, now we're gonna compare. Okay, so you see over there the lights, those green arrows, they're not even there anymore, see? Same here, you see the lights, they actually turned off. So even here, the one on top of that red teleporter. So that's pretty much like a characteristic of this Tonic. The lights get disabled. Oh man, Banjo 3 would have been awesome, to be honest. Yeah. That's like one of, honestly, Fatality, that's like one of the saddest stories in like gaming, is like when Rare was bought or like sold off to Microsoft. Because Rare and Nintendo are like Romeo and Juliet, you know? Like peanut butter and jelly, you know? They go so well together. They're not the same, but they go so well together. They have like that perfect thing, you know? They complement each other very well. So it sucks that now they're with Microsoft. And not all their games have been bad with Microsoft, but I really feel like it could have been like much more different if they would have stayed with Nintendo. Because Rare has this type of mentality, I guess, that would fit perfectly in Nintendo, but at the same time, you know, people that, let's say, don't have like PlayStations or anything, could still enjoy that kind of humor that would have been for like more grown-ups, you know? It's like all in one, like a fun game and humor and dialogue and all of that. So it's a bit sad they got sold, to be honest. But in an alternate universe, Rare was never sold, and Banjo 3 came out, so we're just in the wrong universe, I guess. Oh yeah, that's true. The layoffs affected really the quality of the games. That's why when Playtonic was announced, and you know, there was people from Rare that actually were working at Playtonic, that really gave much more credibility to Yooka-Laylee, because if it would have been just, you know, a bunch of people or fans and they want to remake the game, but there's no actual, you know, worker, programmer, designer, concept artist from the actual world, you know, it would have been a different story. But that's why Playtonic has credibility, as it's like the second Rare, to be honest. And I hope they get that, they get recognized as such, because honestly no one else made games like Rare did. Mickey Mouse, Speedway Racing, Diddy Kong Racing, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, you know, all those games, Jet Force Gemini, a lot of stuff, very good. Yeah, I want that universe as well. I wish we could just like switch universes and go over there, so we could play Banjo 3. Man. And we're not even gonna talk about we're not even gonna talk about nuts and bolts, because wow. Oh no. Oh, of course. Fans, when they put their mind into it, they can do like great stuff. I agree. What I meant was like in general, you know, when people sometimes they try to remake it, sometimes, not all the times obviously, but sometimes they don't necessarily know how to achieve, let's say, the way that Banjo, like the controls felt, for example, especially back in the day. But I do agree, yeah, Sonic Mania was like very Very well done. And there's a lot of other games like that though. Except that, like if it would have been like for Banjo, let's say Yooka-Laylee was made by fans, we can't know for sure if it would have been, you know, as good as this. And even this game has a lot of criticism by a lot of people because they feel it's not Banjo-y enough. So I'm glad. What I was trying to say is that I'm glad that there's actual Rare staff working on this, or that worked on this, and hopefully are working on a future game. Some people say there's like rumors going on that they're working on like a sequel to Yooka-Laylee. Yeah, I would have also enjoyed if it's a bit more, if it would have been a bit more Banjo-y, like you say. But that's the thing, you know. They should. The thing is, you know, Fatality, and I think, you know, if there's other people listening or either watch like this as a replay, the thing is, people try to compare too much with Banjo, and the difference between Banjo and this game is that Banjo was actually built, you know, on an engine, a custom engine that they made themselves. This one was made using Unity engine. So it's not a bad thing, but what that means is that it's gonna have its own characteristics, and if they want to change that, you know, they actually gotta program a new way, like for gravity, for physics. You have to make it yourself if you don't want to use the default one. So there's some stuff in this game sometimes I feel like it could have felt a bit more like Banjo, like the way sometimes the camera works and it goes through walls. You know, they did patch it and make it better, but I feel like some stuff was just a bit if you play Banjo and then right away you play this, you're gonna feel some differences, you know. But honestly, if you just compare them as two good games, you know, platforming games, they are pretty similar. Yeah, exactly. They didn't want to, of course, because if they would copy Banjo, there wouldn't be necessarily anything new to the mix either, right? So it's about taking the good stuff of Banjo and like putting some new stuff in it as well. Crap, I really messed this up. Yeah, I think Yooka-Laylee has its own unique thing. But you know what I was thinking about Fatality? I went and visited the Capital B's tower, and then I saw, you know, the honeycombs on the wall, because it's the pattern that Capital B uses, because he's a bee. And you know what I was thinking? You know, it kind of reminded me of Banjo-Kazooie when you go to the last level, like the last place in the tower when you're gonna beat Gruntilda. If you think about it, you know, Banjo is the one that uses the honeycombs, right? Okay, so maybe it's just very stupid what I'm gonna say, but Banjo's the one with the honeycombs, because Banjo's the bear. Now in this case, Banjo's the nice guy. In this game, Capital B's the bad guy. It's not a bear, it's a bee, but it still like has to do with honey, right? And then in Banjo, the bad one was Gruntilda, a witch, a green witch, right? But now in this game, the protagonist is a lizard and a bat, and lizard is green like Gruntilda, you know, and the bat is like a witch. So it has to do with like witch and Halloween and stuff like that. So I feel like it's a bit of like they switched roles. I don't know, maybe I'm just speculating too much, but I feel like there's like a connection there. It's like Yooka-Laylee is like the counterpart to Banjo-Kazooie. Like the only thing missing is for Capital B to have like a brother instead of Yuka having a brother. But maybe I'm just speculating too much. You would have rather if they just copied it? I also want a new Banjo. I wish Rare would team up with Playtonic, or I don't know, or Rare just makes a new game. But if Rare would make a new Banjo game, they would take all of the attention off Playtonic. So people wouldn't even care too much about Playtonic because everybody would be like, hey, the original company's there. Although, like, if the workers are not there, the game's not going to be as, you know, as successful. Because they need the concept artists, the music. Unless they just remake the old one in, like, a newer engine. They could do that without having, like, the old team. No, 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 no. Oh yeah, you're gonna love this Tonic. And believe me, looking at it through YouTube, but because of the compression and, you know, streaming and all of that, it's not the same. When you're gonna see it yourself, you're gonna enjoy it much more. So if you see it here, you see like the differences. You have an idea, but believe me, when you're gonna do it, you're gonna play it yourself. Like what you saw here is like 20% of what you're gonna see, so you're really gonna enjoy it. And honestly, what I do like about this game is the controls, the ability to like double jump. Oh man, in platformers, double jumping is like, oh, I don't even know how to explain. It's like bullets in a war game, you know. You need it. You can't play without it. Oh, there's always gonna be complainers. Always. Like, even for Banjo, there's people that don't like the original Banjo-Kazooie. There's always like complainers. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. People would complain because of the new HUD. Yeah, the heads-up display, because they use like new rendered textures with the new Banjo model, like higher quality, and they don't like that, or they don't like the fact that when you exit a mission or like a world, you don't have to recollect the notes. They're like, oh, that's cheating. Back in my day, you have to take it all in one go. All those things, you know, it's like they not only remade the game, but they actually adapted a bit to the modern gamer. So I think it was a wise choice. But people sometimes they want to have it their own way, and you can't please everyone. You can't please everyone. Oh crap. Oh. Oh, wow. No. You would cry? Yeah, I get you, I get you. I grew up with Banjo-Kazooie, to be honest. If they would make a remake, it would be really nice. They could make a remake with like some kind of like make it similar to the other one, like to the original, but like better, you know, textures and all. Would have been really nice. You hated Cardos? Yeah, it's like Banjo. I mean, like in Donkey Kong Country, but I just feel that there's something off about it. I don't know if it's the 3D-ness or something, but there's something about it that it doesn't click with me either. Hey there, reverse card. Cardos, the god of ore. Okay, yeah, I getcha. No, but I meant, yeah, I know it's like remaking the textures, but I meant like remaking in the sense making them still look like the original, but like in higher definition. Or would you would you be okay if they would like legit remake the grass, like make look like a bit greener if they wanted to, or would you like it if they stick to the original? That's what I meant. Nah, I'm not gonna try again. I honestly would like to see like a remake of GoldenEye as well, or Perfect Dark. That's something I would like to see, but we all have dreams. We all have dreams. Oh, right. Oh, okay. Right, the Stitchy stuff. Yeah, the Stitchy stuff made it look like Yoshi's Story or like Little Big Planet. And it's not a bad look, but for Banjo, it's not Banjo's look. Banjo doesn't have that. And what do you think about Fat Banjo? You know, because they made him fat. What do you think about that? Do you think they should make him like slimmer? Because in Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, Banjo looks pretty fit. So he is older in Banjo-Tooie, but he's still pretty capable. No, yeah, I know in the beginning when he's like extra fat, but I mean like even like throughout the other game he looks a bit like beefier, you know, compared to like on the Nintendo. Would you rather if he looks like more like on the Nintendo, like, you know, like thinner shoulders and arms and all of that, or you don't mind if he's like thicker? But it is true, yeah, at the beginning they make him like super fat because of the pizzas. So he has to use like vehicles. Here we go. Yeah, he voiced it, and then there was like a lot of backlash, a lot of stuff when they removed his voice. Did he get? I think he got removed after all, right? Like people were like hating on Yooka-Laylee, they were leaving bad reviews. It was like crazy. Like if you saw the forums at on Steam, oh man, they kept making new threads about JonTron every time because they removed him or because whatever. Oh man, so many controversies. Yeah, the day one patch. Man. Things happen, companies do stuff, you know, but like people, like, they would go, and even JonTron was like, don't go hating on the game, you know, even he said it, but people still wanted to like show their anger and whatever. Yo. crap. There we go. Whoa. It must still be pretty nice though to be in a game. Even if you voice and then your voice gets chopped in pieces, so you only say like syllables. Oh, okay. Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, that does make sense. You're right. If somebody specifically bought it for that, then they are entitled to be, you know, unhappy. True. It's like I don't know if you heard about it, but the PlayStation 3 used to have the option to like install Linux on it, like an operating system, and then Sony patched it out. People were like, hey, I specifically bought a PlayStation instead of an Xbox because I could install Linux, you know, like the system. And then Sony just patched it out because of hackers. There's always like a bad reason behind stuff happening, but like it doesn't change the motive or like the initial idea of why people bought it. So I do agree with you. Yeah, it's true. But I mean, they could be mad, but it doesn't mean they could like just go and leave like 1-star reviews, you know, or like 1 on 5 just because of that. Because they're basically rating the whole game based on one element. And if you do that, you're not really rating the game, you're just rating that element. So I remember at the beginning when Yooka-Laylee came out and then the patch was out, the day 1 patch, like as soon as the game came out, there was a lot of dislikes and stuff. The reviews were like mostly negative because of it, like around 40%. Right. Ochi. Oh yeah. Yeah, if people really want to hear JonTron's voice, all you have to do is remove the patches and you're gonna lose 64-bit, but you will be able to hear JonTron in the porta party. So or I think I forgot I could do this. The music in here sounds really like more banjo-esque because of that tuba. Okay, finally, we can go to the bathroom. Oh, I see like a texture here trying to clip through another texture. There. Yeah, it has that kind of instrumentation, if I'm not mistaken, from like the engine room a bit. Like that kind of like slow-paced tuba brass instrumentation. Like it's like the sound of pipes. It's flushing. Okay. Okay. Oh, actually, I need to leave. Wait, can I leave here? I've had a second wind. I'll be here for a while. Well, I think this was like a pretty good overview of like the 64-bit Tonic, because I've been streaming for like 2 hours. So I might end it here just to like leave it, you know, for people that want to see how each level looks. So I went through all the levels, and hopefully it gives everyone like a good overview of all the levels. Yeah, Grant and David, yeah, very good music. You can really tell they made the music because of how it sounds. Some remind me of like exactly like Diddy Kong Racing and even Diddy Kong Country, you know, and other ones they're more like quirky, you know, they sound more like Banjo. It's very good, very good. Anyway, everyone, I think I'm gonna leave it up to here. It's been like 2 hours, like I said. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. The update for the 64-bit Tonic is now available for the PC and the Nintendo Switch. So if you have one of those, if you have the PC or the Switch, you can get the update. The update will be coming soon, according to Playtonic, for the PS4 and the Xbox One. So be patient, it'll come soon, and it is worth it. It's pretty cool. So hopefully it won't take much longer, and it'll be sooner than we can all expect it. So thank you everyone for watching, and like I said, if you have questions, just leave them down. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this kind of videos. I pretty much do like all retro gaming videos. I do sometimes I try hacking video games as well. I tried hacking in this one, but my computer was just searching for too long, so I just canceled it. But I might come back and try to disable the CRT effect while I enable the 64-bit mode, just to see what happens, you know. But that'll be for another video. So thank you very much for watching. Join our Discord if you want. Check out the links in the description if you want to support me. And really, thank you, Fatality, for the conversation. It was very nice talking to you. So I'll check out your channel, by the way. I'll check out your progress on the custom levels for Banjo. Alright, so thank you everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.